So I'm Lyn from the Happy Hormone Cottage, and Mark is exactly right. We have been, I'm sure we were his very first client, and of course we're his favorite, look at this, of course we're his favorite client. And we sell Amy hundreds of kits a year, and it's growing. I don't know about thousands. Okay, I like that. More ice cream coming my way. And I began my cottage in 2009. It's a really silly name, the Happy Hormone Cottage. We even have our own kits. You see this? Put a little logo on it. And I began my cottage because I wanted to bridge a gap between what standard of care knows about hormones, which is not a whole lot, and the truth about our bodies. And so I began in 2009. I opened up this little cottage. Abraham Lincoln's cousin Nathan built it. They made coffins for little teeny people, apparently. It was so little and cute. Limestone, freezing in the winter. And I just put a sign that said, I talk to women, named it a crazy name because either you don't like it or if you hate it, but you're not going to forget it, right? And women just showed up. They just showed up in droves. And this was back when Mark was working for David Zava at ZRT. We did that interesting saliva testing. But we began to help women, and women showed up in droves, and they told their friends and family, they told their friends and family, and it just exploded. Now we have several Happy Hormone Cottage satellite offices and a huge integrative hormone center in Centerville, Ohio, where Amy is actually from. And that houses our Happy Hormone Cottage headquarters, our IHC for men, and our own compounding lab. So we're a one-stop shop. And then Amy, Mark, what is it, 2014? When did you begin? 15, 16?
That would have been 13. 2013.
Really? Oh my God, I'm so old. Oh, that hurts. Okay. So in 2013, we got a call from Mark. We were on vacation, and we flew back and right away called him on the phone, and we loved his message and what he had to say. And we'd been to ZRT lab. We'd met Mark, who was an amazing head of that lab there. And we also had seen some issues with saliva testing, especially when people were on therapy. Results were always skewed. They just weren't accurate. So we were so excited to leave that type of testing for a new testing. And here's how the rubber meets the road. So women come in from their doctors, and they've had this blood work. And the blood work is just a number. It's like between 0 and several hundred. And they always say, well, you're in range. And my line as a public speaker is, you have to be dead to be out of range. And we're not dead yet, right? We're talking women who are young, 32, 28, 35, 42, 48. They're not old women. And so they come in, they've got this blood work with this number, and they have a prescription for an estrogen patch or a progesterone capsule if they're lucky, but mainly they'll have a prescription for Prozac. I'm like, but you're not flipping Prozac deficient, are you? You're not Ambien deficient. It's horrible. So we knew that with Mark's testing from 7 years ago, that if we could have some way to identify these women's needs, that we could come in with our nurse practitioners, become a medical facility, which we did, and actually begin to help women. So I do these amazing, I'm telling them amazing because I'm doing them, amazing presentations on Zoom now called Hormones 101 with Lyn. I'm already booked out 3.5, 4 weeks. Women love them. I do them Wednesday and Thursday afternoons. And I begin with this, the Dutch test, and the 15-page report. I mean, they'd had blood work. They've been told to go home and walk their dog. They've been told to go home. They'll be dead soon. It's not helping people. It's not helping, right? So we go ahead, we show them the testing. And with the 15-page report, I love the cortisol piece. Do you know how impactful this page is? Women who can't fall asleep, wake up wired and tired, who are just exhausted. This page is incredible. And then my favorite page is page 3. I mean, you've probably seen this because you work there, right? But off-methylation pathways, that's incredible. You can even help fix the pathway for promoting or for preventing breast cancer. I mean, it gets no better than this. And then all the pages behind this, our NP goes over them all for an hour appointment. But it's so, without this piece of the testing, women would not have any idea what's wrong with them, and neither would we, and we wouldn't be able to help them. So you guys are the linchpin of our whole program. And it makes me kind of cry because I've seen women suffer for so many years, and it's heartbreaking to know that women are exhausted and not sleeping, and they're having the occasional hot flash or the horrible wicked hot flash, and they're just irritable. And here's the thing that I know. So whenever I do my little classes, I do this, I make my participants take notes because I was a 6th grade teacher of the year. And so I know education is key. I make them take notes on the tasks of hormones. That they understand what doctors don't even know for the most part. It's not taught in medical school, how important hormones are. They'll know this is the missing link. So your testing is the linchpin. They know how important their tasks are. And then we in our compounding lab, after we get the results back and meet with our nurse practitioner, can make our amazing creams in these great quickie tops. Okay, we have progesterone here, my favorite hormone. And here's what women don't know. Progesterone is our joy of life hormone. And you begin to lose it. Guess what age? 35. I'll say it again, 35. So after age 35, and you begin to, and I don't have, do I have my cup here? I normally have a little cup with me because I'm a sixth grade teacher, and I show this as a progesterone receptor, and every year their levels decrease and decrease. By the time you're into menopause and beyond, the cup is fairly empty. So we use these clicky tops based on your test results to refill hormone receptors. We use the cream vaginally. We love it that way. It's the best delivery system for us. And women begin to feel better. Why? It's our joy of life hormone. If you have no joy in your life, you're going to be cranky. And let me tell you another secret. Apparently in Ohio, no one is having sex here. Maybe in Oregon it's different. Women are flipping tired. They don't want sex. Men are miserable. It's horrible. So maybe Oregon is different. I should move there, right? But once we get them back on their cream, fix their cortisol, using your test results, sex happens again. It's a big deal. A bumper sticker says saving lives, saving marriages. It's a really big deal. So, and it doesn't stop there. Once women are through menopause, they begin to get some estrogen. And here's a big problem for me personally. If you go to your doctor for help and you're lucky enough to get an estrogen patch, spray, gel, or a pill, even if you're still having periods, they give it to you. Our big truth is you don't need estrogen if you're still having periods. It promotes a risk of breast cancer, weight gain. It's icky. So why would you do that? So we want to save women's lives literally by not letting them go that route, especially not the old school Premarin, Prevera, Prempro crappy way. That was just horrible. So if we can educate them first on their journey with these hour presentations, have them buy into your testing kit, your 15-page report, that's amazing, meet with our nurse practitioner, and they can get their creams the same day. I mean, what's better than that? And then they begin to feel better in about 3 weeks, and they begin to feel less tired and not irritable. They can have sex again. Vaginal dryness clears up. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And you know what? They can have joy of life again. And I think we deserve that. I really do. I mean, it makes me cry all the time just because, I mean, we help hundreds of women, I don't know at what time, months, and they all have the same story. And after a while, you just think, oh my God, life has to be more than this. And no one is helping them. So I had one of my employees, her name is Lyn, but we can't have two Lyns because I'm already Lyn, so she goes by LC for Lyn Clark. I had her pretend she was James Bond on Tuesday of this week, and she went and she called other hormone facilities in the area. She does it every other year with using a different name. And so I got the results right here. And you can't read it, obviously, but she called 3 other ones in the area. One of them is 25 Again, which is a national chain, I think. 25 Again. I don't want to be 25 Again. Kill me now. The other one is Your Wellness Center. And another one is a doctor in the area who I won't say her name because it wouldn't be professional. But they're all pellet-based. I am the pellet anti-whisperer, the antichrist. We hate pellets because they do a lot of damage in our observation, and we spend a lot of time fixing women from pellets. They're all pellet-based. No one's doing creams. And so to me, pellets they're not a hormone receptor refilling strategy. They're simply a way to give women testosterone. And then it converts to estrogen, and no one's controlling the amount unless you have an antiase inhibitor, and people don't know enough to do that. And women come in with balding heads, and they come in with male pattern baldness because the testosterone's gone down the wrong the 5-alpha reductase pathway. And nobody knows that but us and you guys, right? And so we just want to educate women, show them our strategy, not break the bank. We are the least expensive facility by $2,000 a year. The average cost of these other centers was $2,460, $2,890, and $3,010. Our cost is $1,420 for the year. Yeah, that's money, but it's reasonable, and it's saving lives, and it's giving people the chance to be happy and healthy again and have their joy of life regained. And I'm really happy that I'm doing this job now because of this career, this passion, because I see it all the time that women's lives are changing. You know, when you actually can fix a woman's life, it impacts the entire family, and then you have a much better dynamic, and it just brings me great joy. So that's my message.
Well, thanks, Lyn. We appreciate that. So how many weeks after you start therapy do you find that the husbands feel better?
The husbands feel better? Well, that's a good question. Just a couple of months. Yeah, but it really, it's true. I mean, marriages suffer when women don't feel like being in the mood, and then the whole family dynamic sort of goes down the toilet. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you sharing and making the time for us. And we obviously don't have anything to do over here without people like you. And it's nice to hear some details about just the lives that you guys are changing over there, because that's what our mission statement is to try to impact as many lives as we can positively with our piece of the puzzle. So, so we appreciate you. But thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Okay, I'll log out.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Thanks.
See you
I had
next
a job.
October. Save your money.
All right.
Ice
Bye.
cream.